Hello everyone, so I decided to give you an update on the poolside garden. I will start with the front yard. And the front yard unfortunately has a lot of issues with deer, but the plants like this beautiful salvia here and the catmint are doing well. They are pretty much deer proof, but a lot of other plants like the hydrangeas, arborescens are just being devoured by deer. So what I started doing is just replanting them in the back garden. Now this plant right here, which is a meadow rue, is also deer proof. It's doing really well. It's a young plant, but when they mature they bloom beautifully. I have one blooming in my garden right now. Now here they were daffodils blooming earlier in the spring and they were beautiful, but again they are deer proof. I already cut the foliage here. It's been about 6 weeks, and you do need to leave the daffodil foliage for about 6 weeks so it recharges for the next year's bloom. The foxgloves are doing great. I actually saw a lot of seedlings, which I'm going to leave in this garden because, again, they are deer resistant, and I welcome them. As you can see, the hydrangeas are not looking great. I still have a lot of them to replant, but they're just chewed up. It's so upsetting. So the issue is that the homeowner cannot keep up with the spraying regimen. Last year the spraying was on schedule and the deer wasn't as bad, but this year it's just not happening. So what I'm going to do is just replant all of the poor hydrangeas in the backyard. But the rest of the stuff, like the grasses, there's osmanthus over there, it's doing well. I planted some cleomes as an annual, and this beautiful royal fern is deer proof. A lot of ferns are, and this thing gets big. It's gets about 4 by 4. I can't wait to see it. I still have some daffodil foliage to cut down here, but here's another deer resistant plant, a stilby, and what I'm thinking is just planting more of the ferns, a stilby, and other deer resistant plants, and like rhododendrons, for example. Now before we go in the back, I just wanted to show you this utilitarian planting because those are important too. So these are Chesapeake hollies, and they are covering the air conditioners and garbage. Made such a huge difference because when people arrive, instead of looking at the garbage, they can see this greenery. And by the way, I love that shadow of the dogwood on the wall. And now let's head in the backyard. And here's the poolside backyard, and right here I decided to make a garden of hydrangeas that I'm replanting from the front. I think it's going to be beautiful. But the beds on both sides of the pool are looking so good. And here are the stars of the show, which are irises. I made a video about planting these irises last July. I will put that video in the description down below. It has all the varieties, but here they are blooming. So this one is Feel the Thunder, which is so beautiful. And my idea for the color scheme was to have purples, blues, and whites because I already have some like Salvia corydona right there and Nepeta. So they go so well together. I'm just repeating some varieties. So this is again Feel the Thunder. By the way, the quality is just incredible. This one right here is another chapter, and I did have to like reference my list because I planted a lot of varieties. This one is beautiful. And remember, I was struggling with selecting darker varieties, and I planted 4 different ones, and I can finally see what they look like. Now, some of them are laying in the ground because we had a huge rainstorm come through last night, and these are so heavy and huge. I did have to stake some of them, but I mean, the quality is just amazing, and I'm actually quite surprised that they bloomed the first season. I know the rhizomes were really healthy and big, but I still was not expecting them to bloom that profusely. And I would say the flower size actually is quite impressive because I have irises in my own garden and they are not that big. Apologize if you hear some noise in the background. They're actually cutting down a large tree next door, so that's where the noise is coming from. So this one, by the way, I have to deadhead a little bit, but this one is Blue Trill, and my idea was to pair it up with the Dark Towers penstemon, and it worked out so well, and I threw in some of the Nepeta in this composition. It's one of my favorites. Look at that. It looks so good. And also with the watercolor. So like a lot of the irises have that bluish aqua tint to them. And I think that goes really well by the Poolside. And this, I think this is black suited and hasn't opened yet, but nearly black in color. This one I think is Before the Storm. And look at that. And I'm just repeating the same colors throughout both of the beds, and I think it turned out beautiful, but I think I'm going to get more irises because can never have enough. But I just wanted to show you this bed right here. I actually planted some bridal veils here last year, and I need to extend this bed, just needs some mulch. And this bed is filling in so nicely. So this Baptisia, I'm just like obsessed with this color. It's Decadence Pink Truffles, excuse me. And it's just starting to bloom, but I am loving the color. I am loving all these different textures. Now this is a lower maintenance bed. I have some oak leaf hydrangeas that are loaded with flowers. And of course, because they're safe from deer, they look just so beautiful. The lilacs just finished blooming, but I do have kind of other flushes of blooms in this bed, like the Nepeta and some of the dahlias actually came back from last year. And I just wanted to show you this cutest little viburnum. This one is called Little Ditty, and these are the flowers. And this viburnum tops at 2 feet tall. It is so cute, and in the fall, it actually gets great fall color and berries. Now check out the Sweet Spire starting to bloom, a beautiful native plant. Cryptomerias are filling in nicely. I'm just very happy with this bed. So if you want to go with more of a lower maintenance, definitely just go with lots of shrubs. Make sure you have a different season of interest. Here in this corner, I planted Aphrodite, Allspice, and Goat's Beard. Check out the texture on this plant. You know how crazy I get about fine textured plants? It's just so perfect. Now the Allspice is just starting to bloom. It's kind of strange because mine has been blooming for a couple of weeks now. But here's a little overview of the bed. Different textures. Things are doing great. And now let's check out the American Wisteria we planted here last year. I love this plant. It is blooming right now, and my plan is to have it run all the way up this railing, all the way down. I'm going to train it that way. Can you imagine just having these beautiful flowers all the way up there? Now the American Wisteria is not as invasive as the Asian types. It does have smaller flowers, but they are just as fragrant. And I am going to try to train it up that railing. I think it's going to be beautiful this time of year, and also the foliage looks really nice. Now the vegetable garden seasons has started in this garden. I installed some Corten steel Verideck planters last year. They look so good with the modern style of this home, And the rosemary that I planted last year looks amazing, and the homeowners have been gathering lots of herbs. I planted oregano, thyme, Mexican sage, and this year I already planted some heirloom tomatoes, some cucumbers, and it's just been such a productive little garden space. These beds are just 4x4. And now let's check out this bed surrounded by the stepping stones, which I love. It brings it so much order. But I have to take care of this planter here. It's just has like weeds in there right now. But this iris that needs to be deadheaded as well. This is a Redneck Girl, and I wasn't sure about the color when I was ordering it, but now I love this deep maroon. I think it's so dramatic and rich. I think I'm going to get more. And this one right here is my top favorite in this garden. This one is called Beauty Within, and I want it in my garden everywhere. Just look how exquisite this color is. It's this antique blush with this like a violet beard, and this is how I staked everything here because they were just falling over. The flowers are enormous on these irises from Shriners, but just love this one. These are milkweeds and agastache and lots of native plantings. That's how I like to mix up natives and more exotics, and milkweeds are about to bloom. I'm hoping to see some monarch caterpillars on these this year. But again, look at this. Look at this one. This one is Autumn Explosion, and this is a reblooming variety. And I know they need to be deadheaded, but the flowers are big. They're also slightly fragrant. I think I'm going to replant them in other beds because they don't really go well with the Redneck Girl colors. But just look at that. And this is a case of poor staking because these flowers do get heavy, especially after really heavy rains. And these flowers are enormous. Again, I'm actually blown away by the quality of these irises. The rhizomes were healthy, but I never thought that they would produce these enormous flowers. And now let's head to this border here. It's got some issues. We had 3 boxwoods that died, need to be replaced. But here is a native iris. This is Iris versicolor, and I love the strappy foliage, and it actually looks so good with the other irises as well. And the new growth is purple in the spring, which I love. But you can see there are other black varieties. This is a Raven Girl. It looks a little bit more purple to me than black. This one right here is Absolute Treasure. It has a little bit of a yellow on the beard. And this one is the Feel of the Thunder again. But you see, I got more blue dotted in here together with Amsonia hubrichtii, which is one of my favorite native perennials. And the geranium roseanne is starting to bloom, and this whole bed will look totally different in the middle of the summer. But look at this combo again, blue trill with dark Taurus penstemon. I love blue trill because even the beard is blue. The whole thing is just like this beautiful sky blue color. This Cat's Pajamas nipita right here, and there's echinacea coming in. Another Feel the Thunder. Just need to deadhead all of these. And that's the thing with irises, they don't last that long, but they have a lot of flowers on the stalk, so they just keep opening up every single day. Also love this combo of Iris versicolor and native penstemon. And right around here, This is where I stopped planting irises because they do require full sun situation. And check out this Raven Girl again with the water droplets on her. Stunning. So beautiful. This is a quick overview of the bed. And this is another chapter again. I love that purple fringe on this iris. I think we should go check out the shade garden. So this is where I planted tiarella because this side of the border is becoming a lot more shady. And the Nootka cypress looks great. I really was worried about it for a second because we planted it in such a mature stage, but it took nicely. So right here I have some astilbe, some more tiarella blooming, and again the oak leaf hydrangeas are doing great because they don't get bothered by deer. This is a Pennsylvania sedge, which I love. So Pennsylvania sedge is a creeping sedge. If you want to have a ground cover that kind of outcompete weeds, that's a great ground cover. And I repeat astilbe, and this combination is probably my all-time favorite shade garden combination, also deer resistant. I should probably repeat it in the front garden. Maidenhair fern, the most delicate thing ever, and brunnera. How beautiful is this? The brunnera actually was blooming even more a couple of weeks ago. I have a picture, I'll throw it on the screen. Just how beautiful it looked. I paired it up with a button bush, and you could see things are also filling in nicely. I just wanted to start competing with weeds. Now the green giant arborvitae hedge that we planted 2 years ago is also grown so much because the homeowners were really concerned about privacy, and look at that. Like, you can barely see any neighbors now. It's just so great. But again, there's a quick overview of the poolside garden with the pool, the perennials, and I think it turned out so beautiful. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.